Peter was lying down in his backyard, reading a book, when his wife Rosa walked outside. She immediately screamed. Peter looked around and saw the snake Rosa was talking about. It was not a large snake. Peter told Rosa how he would deal with it, but when Peter wanted to catch it, he saw the snake growing arms. What was happening? Could it be a very dangerous snake? He decided to catch the snake since it was so little. It did not look scary at all. When he caught the snake with his bare hands, the snake quickly bit him in the arm. He put the snake in a shoebox. He called Rosa for help with the wound. After tying the bandage around his arm, Peter started to feel unwell. Rosa quickly called the vet about what had happened. The vet told Rosa to immediately take Peter to his office so they could look at what was going on. The vet took one look at Peter, one look inside the box, and immediately turned pale. "This can't be true," the vet mumbled. He took the animal to the back and quickly gave Peter a shot. He looked confused and told Peter everything, but what was so special about this snake? It was summer, and Peter worked in his garden. Since retiring from the military, Peter had to find other things to do with his time, and he discovered that he really liked the outdoors. Peter wanted to build a big pond in his backyard with koi fish and lots of flowers around it. So he rented all of the gear and started digging. He worked on the pond for 4 days, and everything started to come together, and the pond was ready for the fish. Peter was proud of himself, and even his wife Rosa praised him for his fantastic work. One morning, he went to the pond to feed the fish. Peter noticed one of them was gone. He looked around the pond to see if it might have jumped out, but it was nowhere to be found. How was this possible? Peter quickly put a net over the pond because he thought a bird might have stolen his fish. But that didn't help. Every day, more and more fish started to disappear. What's going on? Why was this happening to him? The following week, Peter woke up and looked out his window. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. His beautiful pond was no more. All the fish were gone, and now it looked like a sad, empty puddle. For the next week, Peter only stayed inside. He didn't even look at the garden and its chaos. He felt defeated and didn't want anything to do with his pond anymore. Rosa felt sorry for him, but she did not know how to cheer him up. Peter had given up on his pond and was lying down in his backyard, reading a book. At that moment, Rosa walked outside and saw what was happening to his pond. There was an animal inside, a snake. Peter decided to drain the water so the snake could not hide, but the snake could move quickly through the mud. He was not sure how he could catch this snake, but then the strangest thing happened. He saw the snake growing arms. Peter was in complete shock. He had to catch the snake. Peter was waiting for the right moment. He yanked the snake out of the mud and held it in front of him. What kind of snake was this? Its tail swung angrily back and forth. Peter couldn't believe his eyes. He was quickly putting the snake inside a shoebox when Rosa ran outside. She screamed at the sight of the snake. She couldn't believe that Peter was holding it in his hands. Unfortunately, Peter was too late. The snake bit Peter's arm and he screamed in pain. His arm started bleeding quickly. Peter told Rosa what he had seen, and she couldn't believe it. Why would you do something stupid? Could this snake be venomous? Rosa quickly called the vet, who told them to come to his office as soon as possible. Rosa raced Peter to the vet because he was looking worse and worse. When they arrived at the vet, he was in shock to see Peter's condition. The vet focused first on Peter, giving him an antidote just in case the snake was venomous. Peter started to feel a lot better after the antidote. The vet advised Peter to go to the hospital just to be sure. Meanwhile, he would examine the snake. When the vet took a look at the snake, he turned pale. Rosa drove Peter to the nearest hospital. After explaining what happened, the assistant told them to go see Dr. James. They had to wait a few minutes, but then James was ready to take a look at Peter. James did some routine checks on Peter and also took a blood sample to check if nothing strange was in his blood. These were some nerve-wracking minutes for Peter. What if the bite was venomous? While they were waiting for the results, Peter got a call from the vet. "What do I need to do?" Peter asked immediately. The vet said to Peter, that it was best to wait for the outcome of the results from the doctor. He was unsure because even though the first results suggested the snake was venomous, it was not certain. A few moments later, James called Peter back to his office. James told Peter that there was something in his blood. James prescribed a number of medicines. Peter could get on the ground floor of the hospital. It was nothing to worry about, he told Peter. The snake was indeed venomous, but these medicines should help Peter to get better. Peter got out of the office and saw Rosa waiting. After he told Rosa what the doctor told him, she was relieved. He was okay. They went downstairs and got the medicines the doctor prescribed. At that moment, the vet called them. The vet asked Peter to come to his office. He had the outcome of the test he had run on the snake. Rosa dropped Peter off at the vet. Peter walked inside and saw the vet waiting for him. Peter saw the snake which bit him inside this cage. The snake still had those little arms he grew inside his pond. The vet was very enthusiastic. He told Peter, "Maybe you did not realize what you did, but this is very special." The vet showed Peter the DNA results for the snake, but Peter did not understand what it said. The vet explained that this is a very rare snake, which turned out to be an almost extinct species. "What makes this snake special?" Peter asked the vet. The vet explained to Peter that the venom of this snake might have made Peter feel sick. It used to cure rare diseases people suffer from, and because of Peter's finding more, people can receive the antidote. Peter was happy to hear that. "My beloved pond was not destroyed for nothing," he told the vet. When the vet heard the complete story of Peter's pond, he laughed. "However, there is still one thing left," he told Peter. "The snake has to be put in the right hands. See, this snake is also worth a lot on the black market, and because Peter found the snake, he is the owner of the snake. The vet is obliged to return the snake back to Peter." Peter arrived home with a snake inside a cage. When Rosa saw the cage, she screamed. How could he take this thing back home? Peter told Rosa what the vet had told him. It was his snake now. He was not sure what to do. Peter got more and more tempted to look online at what this snake was worth. After some research, he saw the snake was worth a lot of money. The bids were in the 5 figures. When Rosa heard this, she was curious about what Peter was going to do. Rosa told Peter, "Whatever you choose to do with it, I know it will be the right choice." The vet is surprised when he hears someone is waiting for him, as he closed 10 minutes ago. It is Peter. He tells him he saw the bids people made for this snake, but he cannot ignore the good things the right people can do with this snake, and therefore gives the snake to the vet. The next morning, Peter wakes up from someone ringing the bell very early. It is James and the vet, with all these gardening tools, to thank Peter for making the right choice. He is going to help him finally get his beloved pond working.